The Miami Dolphins came away with a thrilling win in Madrid, Spain, improving their record to 4-7 on the season. And honestly, the good news for Miami just keeps piling up. Over the past month, this team has been playing some of their best football of the year. Injuries haven't been a major concern, and several players have returned to action, giving the Dolphins a boost across the roster. The only player to really watch is cornerback Juju Brent. He didn't start for Miami until last week, filling in for Rasul Douglas and absolutely shining against the Bills. Douglas missed Sunday's game against the Commanders again, but he's expected back after the bye. Brent, however, left the field with an ankle injury and didn't return. Here's hoping he's okay, because he's shown real promise and could be a key piece for Miami moving forward. There was also a tense moment when Devin Achane went down with what was initially called a back injury. He was questionable to return, but he came back and made an impact. In overtime, starting at the Commanders' 35-yard line, Achane ripped off 3 consecutive runs of over 5 yards, setting up the game-winning field goal. A clutch performance under pressure, and it's a huge relief for Miami that their big contributors came out of this game mostly unscathed. Now, quick pause. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit the bell so you never miss an update. We're just a few clicks away from celebrating 78,000 fans in the Dolphins family, and you won't want to miss any of the content we've got coming every single day. Back to the game. The bye week is perfectly timed. Head coach Mike McDaniel talked after the game about how much this break is needed after 11 straight weeks of grueling football. Some key players could return from injury, and the rest will definitely benefit from a little extra recovery time. Austin Jackson had his 21-day practice window open this week, meaning he must be activated to the 53-man roster by December 2nd, or he'll be out for the season. And don't forget James Daniels, who's been sidelined with a pec injury since week 1. Miami's depth and resilience are starting to show, and this win in Spain could be the spark that fuels a strong finish to the season. Austin Jackson's practice window has opened, and with a couple of weeks before Miami's next game, there's hope that James Daniels, the projected starting right guard who signed a 3-year deal in free agency, could return as well. I fully expect Jackson to be back on the field when the Dolphins face the Saints in Week 13. Rasul Douglas should also return, having been held out of the Washington game due to a minor injury. With Juju Brent sidelined, Douglas's return is crucial for Miami's secondary. Now let me hear from you. How excited are you about this Dolphins win? Some fans might grumble, saying it hurts the tank for Miami's draft position, which currently sits at 11th overall. But for anyone following this team closely, there's so much to celebrate. One of the brightest spots? The emergence of Miami's young cornerbacks. Coming into this season, many expected the secondary to be a weakness. We even called it the worst in football. But so far, it's been far from that. Sure, it's not elite. It's below average. But when you pair a below-average secondary with a strong front seven, it's a combination that keeps the team competitive week after week. Micah Fitzpatrick has been steady, and Jack Jones has been evolving into a true playmaker. Alongside Rasul Douglas and Juju Brent, this unit has shown real growth over the past few weeks. Jack Jones, in particular, has been a revelation. After one of his best games against the Bills last Sunday, he followed it up with another standout performance against the Washington Commanders. Now, the Commanders' receiving core isn't the strongest. You're mostly looking at Deebo Samuel and Zach Ertz, with the rest like Chris Moore and rookie Jalen Lane. But Jack Jones's impact goes beyond the matchup. According to ESPN's Marcel Lewis-Jacques, Jones recorded a pass breakup that could be called a game-sealing interception and allowed only one catch for -3 yards when targeted. That interception came at the start of overtime and completely swung momentum back to Miami. The Dolphins were feeling the pressure after a chaotic final 2 minutes, but Jones stepped up and basically said, "Not today. I've got this." That play set up the game-winning field goal and made the victory feel almost effortless. Moments like this are exactly why Dolphins fans have reason to be excited. Jack Jones is making a serious case to stick around next year on a team-friendly deal. Now, would I hand him a multi-year contract just yet? Maybe not. But there's no denying how solid he's been this season. Signed in the first week of training camp, Jones has been active for every game and has shown real growth. Sure, there have been a few missteps, But the big plays, tackling in the run game, and that game-changing interception in the pass game, more than make up for them. Alongside Juju Brent, these young corners have been one of Miami's brightest spots over the last month. Beyond the wins, their growth has been a reason for optimism. Here's a fun little story about Jack Jones that shows his football IQ and leadership on the field. During that overtime drive against Washington, Jones went up to Miami's front seven and essentially called the play. Stop the run. If you stop the run, they're going to throw it. And Mariota is going to throw it to me because he can't make the read. That level of awareness and confidence is rare, especially from a young player still carving out his role. Watching that game, it was clear the Dolphins' defense dominated whenever Marcus Mariota wasn't running RPOs. Very rarely did he have success dropping back from the pocket. When the team wasn't baited into the RPO, Miami's defense held firm, and Jones's interception in overtime was the perfect example of that discipline paying off. That play effectively set up the game-winning drive and highlighted why this young secondary deserves the spotlight. Jack Jones is a confident young man, and that confidence shows on every snap. From his college days at Arizona State to his time in New England and Las Vegas, he's always believed in himself, and that self-assurance is exactly what you need to succeed as a corner in the NFL. Watching him play is a thrill. He brings energy, swagger, and a fearless approach that makes Miami's secondary more dynamic every week. Honestly, I'd be very interested in bringing him back next year on a one-year deal. Multi-year? Maybe down the line, but for now, 1 year seems perfect. Beyond Jones, the Dolphins as a whole have momentum building. They've won 3 of their last 4 games over the past month. Let's break that down. After a blowout loss in Atlanta and a tough home defeat against Baltimore, where they dominated the first half but stumbled in the second, they bounced back in a big way. They crushed the Bills at home and then secured a gritty win against Washington in Madrid, Spain. Playing with confidence on another continent is no small feat, and this team is proving it can rise to the occasion. Miami has 6 games left in the season, and while a playoff berth might be a long shot, this team is capable of making noise. After the bye, they host the Saints, a matchup they should win, before traveling to face the Jets or Titans, 2 teams struggling mightily. Winning those 2 would put Miami at 6-7, and while the final stretch includes tough opponents like Baltimore, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, and New England, this team has shown it can be competitive. Bradley Chubb even mentioned this week that the Dolphins have delusional confidence, and that's exactly the mindset you want heading down the stretch. If Mike McDaniel keeps letting the players play, and if Tua Tagovailoa continues to make smart reads and plays within his skill set, Miami can be competitive and entertaining right to the final whistle. Yes, the draft pick might not be ideal, but why not enjoy the season and see what this team can do? Every weekend has become more exciting, and this squad has given fans plenty to cheer for. The Dolphins are playing with energy, belief, and momentum, and that's what makes watching them now so much fun.